Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 21 video. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the Dallas Cowboys with the new addition of Micah Parsons, who I believe they picked up at number 12, traded with the Eagles in the division trade. I know people are going to be mad at that, but at the same time, Devontae Smith was there. The Cowboys still got a defensive player, and defense is what they desperately needed. Still got some trade value out of it as well. So overall, it was a great trade for them. People are like, oh my God, Devontae Smith is going to torch their secondary. I mean, yeah, that's cool and all, but I think it worked out great for them. So this is the overlook of the team, and offensively, we look really great. Now, Zak Prescott, I know everyone's going to be like, oh, top 10. And I can argue that he's a top 10 QB. My personal opinion, overrated. Like, with this offense, Zeke, Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, I mean, CeeDee's nuts, if you guys want to say that. Michael Gallup, this O-line, when it's healthy, is easily a top 10. And a lot of people will argue top 5, which I don't even see a problem with. And yes, tight end is the only problem. I see no problem with you moving the ball down the field, though I can understand why you lose. I can understand why Dak Prescott loses because his defense is so bad, but don't say, oh, his stats are really good. Yeah, his stats are good because his team is good. So DeMarcus Lawrence there, as you can see, his contract sucks. Hopefully he can be a lot better, because if he regresses to like an 82 overall, I'm going to cut him. I'm not going to be paying this dude 25 to 30 million a year to be an 82 overall star development player. Hopefully he can develop. The team looks very young and can develop, so hopefully we can do that. So let's get to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a win to the Philadelphia Eagles, trading in within the division, and Devontae Smith will torch their secondary. Yeah, shut up. Nobody wants your opinion. Keanu O'Neal, big pickup in the offseason. Definitely needed safeties. I definitely want him back. Keanu O'Neal, I believe he had injury problems, is the reason why his overall has been going down. I think it was like an 85 overall star dev last year, and now it's an 80 overall star dev. And I think it's because of injury problems. I think he's pretty good on the field, and we're 8-0. Okay, above the Giants. I didn't really expect this. The rest of our division kind of sucks, and I don't really need to worry about any re-signings here, so let's get to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a win to the New York Giants, having a first-round bye. This isn't even a rebuild at this point. So it's confirmed. You don't need a defense to win in simulation, just a god tier offense. 13-3, top of the division, first round bye. Dak Prescott, show me MVP. Okay, that's fine too. I'm pretty sure he'll still get X Factor, so that's what matters. Second best offense and 28th best defense. So yeah, it's confirmed. You can go 13-3 all offense. 4,700 yards, 44 TDs, 12 interceptions. Zeke, 7 TDs, 1,100 yards. That is great to see. Pretty good average. CD's nuts, 1,100 yards, 11 TDs. Amari Cooper, 1,000 yards, 11 TDs. Defensively, Leighton Vander Esch, 121 tackles for a loss, 18 for Micah Parsons is great. Sacks on team, 11 for DeMarcus Lawrence. That's great to see. Interceptions, 3 for Leighton Vander Esch. DeMarcus Lawrence is putting up numbers. Glad to see it. 0 safeties and defensive touchdowns is 0. So hopefully DeMarcus Lawrence can get a dev up for having those 11 sacks if he does improve, because I definitely don't want to pay him $25 million a year to be an 80 overall if he continues to regress. So we're here to face the 9-7 Seattle Seahawks, and as you guys know, if you guys have ever been to the channel, I always win the wild card, then lose the divisional. So yeah, okay. I love to see it. I love to see my 13-3 team lose to a 9-7 team. It happens. I'm not even mad at it anymore. So here we are in the offseason as the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers wins league MVP, and no Cowboys in there for any other awards. So let's look into the retirements here. And looking into the NFC East, Ryan Fitzmagic is there. Cameron Wake is there. I almost said Saquon Barkley on the Eagles. I don't know what I'm thinking today, but looking into the re-signings, Damontae Kazi, or Kaz, however you want to pronounce it, doesn't matter. Don't want him, and everyone else here I don't want. So let's look into the team to see if there's any DevOps. 89 overall offense, and Dak Prescott is a superstar X Factor. You'll love to see it. Not putting Truz on him, probably the most worthless ability in the game. And Anchored Extender, Gutsy Scrambler, I'll put Pocket Deadeye on him. These abilities I'm changing just in case I hop in. I don't think abilities affect simulation. They may or may not. I highly doubt it. But these are what I'm going to put on him just in case I hop into the game. And CeeDee Lamb has Superstar X X-Factor now. He did start with Superstar. I didn't give him Superstar. The CPU starts him with Superstar. So let's give him Route Technician and Grab and Go, as I always give to all my receivers. 3 great receivers. O-line is great. And it looks like Dalton Schultz also now has Star Dev. 25 years old. I thought he was like 28 to start with, but I guess I'm wrong. And DeMarcus Lawrence now is Superstar Dev and is 89 overall with morale. That's great to see. Jalen Smith, Superstar Dev now. I don't know how he got that. Micah Parsons, I only gave Star Development to at the beginning of the series. If you guys didn't know already, these rosters, all rookies start with normal dev. You have to give them their developments to how you see fit, how Madden 22 would give them their developments. Just letting you guys know that, so don't get picky in the comments. That's just what I felt Micah Parsons deserved, which is Star Development. He's had some, I think, off the field issues. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what I've heard, but still, I only gave him Star for that reason, and I think he was the best defensive player in the class other than Patrick Surtain, maybe. So anyways, guys, that it is time to move into free agency. Here we are in free agency, and I really didn't like anybody. I know I have 21 million in cap room. I just don't like anybody here, so let's just move to the draft. Here we are in the draft, picking up a defensive back. Desperately needed 75 overall, only normal dev though, so don't really like the pick. Next, we're picking up another DB in the second round this time, back-to-back, but he's way better just because of his hidden dev, regardless of overall, 1 overall lower. So this is the overlook of the team after the draft. Offensively, I really didn't do anything for the offense after the draft. And I think the CPU maybe picked up some players that simulated it, but I did pick up a free safety and a DB. So anyways, guys, other than that, I would say that it's time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the New York Giants, and looking into it, we are 3-4, second in the division. That was quite the drop-off from last season. Okay, and Michael Gallup, I don't want. I have 2 Superstar X-Factor receivers, and I have Dalton Schultz, who I'm about to re-sign on a very cheap deal, actually. I don't need him. For those of you guys saying, yeah, he's great. Yeah, I think Michael Gallup is extremely underrated. I know he had a lot of drops in not this season, but I think the past season. Still, I think he's very underrated. I just don't need him. So let's just get to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a win to the Green Bay Packers, as we are 10-6 here to face the 9-7 Carolina Panthers. Top of the division, made a comeback on the season, 7-9, above the 7-9 Washington Redskins. And looking into the yearly awards, Zak Prescott wins league MVP. That's what I'm talking about. Amazing season, second best offense in the NFL. Defensively, 9th. Okay, that's surprising. Dak Prescott, 4,700 yards, 49 TDs, 10 interceptions. Zeke, 11 TDs, 5.8 per carry, and 1,200 yards. 5.8 per carry is insane. 11 TDs, 10 TDs, and 1,000 yards for Michael Gallup. And defensively, Leighton Vander Esch, 110 tackles. Tackles for a loss is going to be 14 for DeMarcus Lawrence. Sacks on team is 13 and 12.5 for Micah Parsons. 13 for DeMarcus Lawrence, though. He's having a great time in simulation. Leighton Vander Esch, 3 interceptions. Safeties is 1 for DeMarcus Lawrence. And defensive touchdowns is 0. So DeMarcus Lawrence is outperforming my expectations. I'm so glad I kept him on the team, because if this wasn't a realistic rebuild and was a fantasy rebuild, I would have already traded him. I'm not going to lie. So I'm glad I kept him. Simulating the wild card and looking into it, yep, we beat them, but we always win the wild card, like I say before. So we're going to lose to the Saints here. I'm pretty sure I already know it. It always happens to me in every simulation. Okay, never mind. So here we are, here to face the 11-5 San Francisco 49ers, as we are 10-6. I'm going to hop into this game to see what happens in simulation. So let's get into it. Here we are, as we are facing the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know why I'm stuttering. In the fourth quarter, 13-38, and we pulled really hard away. 38-20 is your final score. We pulled hard in the fourth quarter. So here we are in the Super Bowl after destroying, I think, almost destroying. I guess beating them by 18 points isn't considered destroying. But I guess that's 3 possessions technically, so I guess that is destroying, because we beat them by 3 possessions here to face the 9-7 Kansas City Chiefs. No offensive upgrades. DeMarcus Lawrence is now an X Factor. Great to see. 91 overall with morale. Jalen Smith, he's an X Factor, but is an 82 overall. That makes no sense. Micah Parsons, 90 overall with morale with Superstar X Factor. And I'm pretty sure Micah Parsons, Jalen Smith, and DeMarcus Lawrence all upgraded at the same time last year and this year, and it looks like our rookie DB only has Star Dev, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's okay. So let's just get into this game against the Chiefs. So here we are against the Chiefs, and I had to pound it in with Zeke. I hopped in here in the fourth quarter. I didn't hop in into the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, as it is 25-24. I didn't mean to hop into there. I'll just let the CPU take the rest of this game away. We have the ball back in the red zone. The game's clearly over. 25-24 as we beat the Chiefs by 1 point. I only hopped in to 3 plays during that entire game in the fourth quarter whenever it was tight, whenever we needed a touchdown. So don't get mad that I affected simulation. It's fine. So let's get to the MVP. Your Super Bowl MVP is Michael Gallup, 7 receptions, 109 yards, 1 TD, and 15.5 averaging. He probably had more stats than that. It just doesn't really show that. But still, very good game for him, and it's time to move into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as we obviously beat the Chiefs. Zak Prescott wins league MVP and Offensive Player of the Year is Zak Prescott as well. Zaven Collins wins Defensive Player of the Year. Really? I think Zaven Collins was a bust for the Cardinals. I mean, I know he just got drafted and you can't really label someone a bust, but still, Zaven Collins in the first round? What was that? Connor Williams, I would like back, 78 overall with morale. I mean, yes, I know it's probably not the best decision to re-sign him, but I'm going to do it anyways because that's probably what I could get in the draft anyways for someone like his stature. I'm not going to re-sign Michael Gallup. I don't care if he was Super Bowl MVP. I just don't need him. So let's get to free agency. Here we are in free agency, and I obviously can't spend $160,000 in free agency. That kind of sounds wild to say to the average person. So let's get to the draft. Here we are in the draft picking up a center because we have like a 70 overall or 69 overall, nice center, but 72 overall, normal to have, not that great of a player, solid though. So this is the offense after the draft, and offensively we look so good once again, and defensively looking into it, we could definitely improve on defensive backs and coverage maybe. For those of you guys saying I need to improve on D-line, DeMarcus Lawrence is really carrying us on D-line, but let's get to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark coming off a bye week as we are 6-1. Let's go. Here to face the 3-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe. Top of the division above the 6-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. And Dak Prescott is here as his contract. I thought he was on a 4-year deal. I thought I didn't have to deal with this contract, but I'm actually happy that I do get to deal with this contract because now I get to save so much more cap room because before I think he was on a 3-year. I thought it was a 4-year, but a 3-year $40 million deal with Dak Prescott. Per $42 million per year, not 42 in general. I'm saying $42 million per year. Don't quote me on that. I don't know the exact number. Jordan Lewis, I do want to re-sign. I'm pretty sure I just re-signed Leighton Vander Esch. I'm blanking out because I'm talking about Dak Prescott all the time. Yeah, I just re-signed Leighton Vander Esch. I don't want anyone else here. And yeah, Dak Prescott, I'm glad I got to make a new contract with him because I only have to pay him like $28 million a year now instead of $42 million a year now. So glad. So it's time to get to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a loss of the New Orleans Saints as we are 11-5, and we are also going to upgrade these players, let the CPU auto upgrade those guys, and looking into it, we are here to face the 9-7 San Francisco 49ers as the Eagles take the division, and Dak Prescott had a down year from last year, but he had a down year from an MVP season. That's normal. 7th best defense is great. 31-12. Zeke almost 5 per carry, 1,100 yards. And Simi Fehoko had the most. Okay, I guess the slot is a broken position because that should have been someone else. If you put someone in the slot, they're broken in this game. 117 tackles for Micah Parsons, 13 sacks for DeMarcus Lawrence, and 14 tackles for a loss, 3 interceptions for Jordan Lewis, and safeties on the team is going to be 0, and defensive touchdowns on the team is going to be 0. So anyways, guys, I'm not very satisfied with this team on this season. So let's simulate this wildcard round against the San Francisco 49ers to see if we can move on to the divisional round and looking, okay, that's cool too. 11-5 just to lose to 9-7. So it's time to move to the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Chiefs get their revenge and have 2 Super Bowl losses and 2 Super Bowl wins now. Not in total, I'm saying with Patrick Mahomes as they beat the Eagles 24-7 and looking into the NFC East. And we are nobody. Okay, so nobody retires. I think there's a glitch where it doesn't show you your players that retire sometimes. That was a glitch in my previous Steelers rebuild. But looking into it, I don't want to resign anybody here. Nobody at all. So let's look into the team to see if there is any development upgrades for this 3rd season. And we've already had a successful rebuild considering we won the Super Bowl. Offensively, no. And defensively, I don't see anybody. Yeah, unfortunately, no, nobody got upgrades. Very crummy season, I would say. So let's just get to free agency. So here we are in the draft as actually there's nobody in free agency that I wanted. We didn't have any money anyways to spend in free agency. So I'm just picking up a defensive end. No development, unfortunately. Now I'm picking up a defensive tackle in the 2nd round, I believe. 69 overall. Nice hidden development. I guess I'll rotate him in. Not really a necessity. So here we are with the overlook of the team in the 4th and final season Offensively, we really kept the team almost basically the same offensively. Defensively, I would say the same as that for that as well. Maybe the D-line and defensive backs have changed, but apparently the CPU picked up 2 star development or better strong safeties. I picked up the star development defensive tackle, but I'm not really going to start him. So anyways, guys, it's time to get to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a win to the Washington Redskins. Name football team is stupid. I'm not calling them that. 5-2, top the division above the 3-4 Washington Redskins. And we have some players to re-sign, but just like every season in the final season, we don't need to re-sign them because it is the final season. So, yeah, I think we'll be good on that. And other than that, guys, I'd say it's time to simulate to the 4th and final playoff. So we were on the playoffs coming off a win to the Redskins, as we are 11-5 here to face the 9-7 Arizona Cardinals, top of the division above the 7-9 Redskins. And Dak Prescott had another great season as that MVP once again. No, third for MVP as Baker Mayfield wins MVP on the Patriots. Nice to see. Second best offense in the NFL, and defensively 13th. Okay, I would expect us to be lower, but okay. 4,100 yards, 37 TDs, 14 interceptions, a little bit too much. 10 TDs, 5.4 per carry, 1,200 yards, great season. Amari Cooper, 1,100 yards, 11 TDs. And Tutu Atwell, 8 TDs and 1,000 yards. Okay, I guess the slot position really is broken. Leighton Vander Esch, 108 tackles. Tackles for a loss is going to be 15 for Micah Parsons. Okay, sacks 14.5 for Jalen Smith, 14 for DeMarcus Lawrence, and 10 for Micah Parsons. I'm using the Cincinnati Bengals playbook for the 4-3, 4 interceptions for Jordan Lewis, and defensive touchdowns at 0. So yeah, I'm using the Cincinnati Bengals playbook for 4-3 schemes, and I'm using the Baltimore Ravens playbook for 3-4 schemes. So just to let you guys know that, I'm going to simulate this wildcard round to see if we can beat the Cardinals, and no, okay. I guess I'm fine with that. I'm not going to complain about that. We were 11-5. I can see that happening. But if we are a first-round bye team like that first season, and we are 13-3 and lose to the 9-7 Seahawks, I'm going to be upset. But I'm not upset with this rebuild. Micah Parsons, definitely successful. 96 without morale overall. Superstar X Factor, 25 years old. Absolute stud. Won the Super Bowl. And just overall amazing simulation for Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. Very happy with this rebuild. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this rebuild. And apart from that, I'll see you guys all in the next one.